Well, greetings and salutations. Uh, because I'm a man of my word, I am watching right now, and Riley told me today that Bob was going to take me up on my challenge, and Bob even said that he was going to take it up on the challenge. Now, I had requested that it was going to happen in the beginning of the Glowbusters episode, so we're going to have to actually see that. And blah, 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 look at all this bullshit. And yeah, and we'll see what happens here. And plus, I figured there was probably going to be a couple of people who were actually there's Bob. Um, the plus there was going to be a couple of people I'm sure that might have been actually watching over there, and y'all don't need to watch it over there. You can watch it over here, of course. I'm not going to play the audio, but I do have the closed captions on so we can see the words should they decide to speak. I've also invited Sean, and I'm going to be throwing out a couple more links here, get the whole gang here, to see what anybody else has to say because it's entirely possible that nobody's going to say anything about this. So let's see here. Schönen Abend. Let's see. Yeah, you shouldn't be calling Glowbusters, but we'll see what's up. And so let me go ahead and start spitting out the link to other folks here. Hold on. Oops. Let's see. I'm going to get. Let's see. I'll get Red in here, and then of course the whole gang. Who do I got? Oh yeah, I get all these guys. Oh my God, they're gonna be spotlighting P Brain. Yeah. All right. I'm sorry. I'm listening and not talking. Anybody who doesn't know what this is about, I challenged Bob to back up his words when it comes down to making a equatorial mount function on a flat Earth with a dome. He is actually back or said out loud that he is. Oh, jeez, I gotta get this damn sound out of my ear. He he's actually said out loud that he supports the AE map and that he also with the dome, and he says that the equatorial mount works just fine on it. So, we'll see how that works. Oh, I love that video right there that they're showing. Uh, P Brain blocked me on his channel when I told him that he should have put the camera in the down there on the ground. Yeah, he didn't like that, so whatever. So we'll see what's up with all this. And like I said, I just sent out the link to a whole bunch of people. I don't know what everybody else is doing on this fine Sunday. To me, it's Sunday night, and we'll see what all is going on here. And do. Yeah. So how you guys all doing tonight? Has anybody heard about this challenge with Bob? This video that I made the other day. Yeah, and Bob specifically came out and said that he's got this and he's going to be displaying it, and he's looking forward to me deleting the content off my channel. And a fresh news shout out to Flat Out. I caught part of the stream yesterday with Sean and all this. What do you call it? Even though our approaches to this are different, what do you call it? His that I have actually watched a couple of his things recently, and they're fucking hysterical. Um, and it turns out that He seems to have a lot of the same interests as I do. He and I do a lot of he does a lot of RC stuff. I do a lot of RC stuff, and I was kind of happy to hear that. And the only reason why we're waiting on Sean so long is because Sean actually went to go get cigarettes. I kind of sprung this on him because I was just like, well, either I'm going to sit here and watch this thing, or I'm going to actually have a hangout waiting for it to happen. But yeah, let's see. You know what's going on? Oh, somebody backed into your car. Yeah. Welcome to reality, man. Anyway, still afraid to debate him. Who's that? Thin fourth. Oh, and by the way, to everybody who feels like knowing, I caught two pieces of Southern Israelites little rant about me, and I thought it was funny as hell because Sky Babes, I build RC foamies. Hey, that's cool. I do mostly foamies just because I'm too lazy to cut to cut balsa and ply, and damn sure too lazy to coat. So, but no, I build all kinds of wacky stuff like that. And but they had a Southern Israelite decided he was going to go off on me a couple of times by saying I bitched out of a debate that I never agreed to. And but One thing that was really funny is one little clip that I caught in there was that he says that uh, the cities in the Mediterranean Sea, what do you call it? There is no tide. There's no tides in the Mediterranean. So, yeah. The one, the only mighty destroyer of the globes, the one true God of the flat earth, the mighty Belu. Oh, now I know what you're talking about. Yeah. But hey, what's up, Astronomy Live? What's going on?
Hey, not much. Just saw the Hangout notification. Thought I'd join in and say hi.
Oh yeah. No, the what do you call it? I'm kind of doing a just a random one here, waiting for Bob to actually show his um he said he's going to demonstrate how you'll get a kick out of this. How he's going to demonstrate how a equatorial mount works on flat Earth. He says it works just fine.
Yes, I'm very interested to see that. Didn't he also say that it works because it works on latitude and longitude?
Yeah, he seemed to find some kind of dependency. He said something like, if we came up with a different coordinate system or something like that, when it has nothing to do with coordinate systems.
Yeah, and it's funny because in the instruction manual for my scope, it even says that if you don't know where you are, if you don't have your latitude and longitude, now keep in mind my scope is a pre-GPS model LX200. It doesn't have GPS built in. It doesn't have any way of knowing you tell it. But there's an
Hmm.
option that if you don't know where you are, you can set it to unknown location, and guess what? It'll still work just fine in equatorial mode.
Yeah. I'm actually in the process of building one right now. Um, not for a telescope, mind you, but uh, for my camcorder. I have a small camcorder, and that's got an incredible zoom on it. And I've actually been able to see the rings of Saturn with it. Not as large as like a P900 or P1000, but big enough. And I oh wait, hold on. He's talking down money challenges, which is good. Okay, so they're talking about Wolfie's response. I actually saw that for the first time today, only a couple hours ago. Wolfie's response to the supposed $100,000 challenge. It's the triangle challenge, and I personally have been trying to figure out a way to actually do that in real life. I mean, obviously nobody's gonna be accepting flight instruments. That they just won't, and nobody's gonna be accepting. Or nobody's going to be walking 10,000 kilometers in one direction, then 10,000 kilometers in another direction. But Wolfie explained this out quite fine per the parameters that were in the challenge, this supposed $100,000 challenge, and yeah, he showed it on the software that he uses. He is a pilot. Hallelujah. He is actually a commercial pilot. And so he's showing it because they were saying, oh, pilots don't track things on a globe and all this other stuff. Everything they haven't used paper flight charts in like forever, and everything is software based now and stuff like that. And yes, they use global coordinates. It's just that simple. And what do you call it? So I find that really funny. Now I don't know if he's going to. Uh, Let me see if he's actually. Oh God, they got Southern Israelite on there. At least I think that's him. Uh, Trying to talk him down with his apparent knowledge in geometry. Remember, Southern Israelite says there are no tides in the Mediterranean per his academic sources. So let's yeah. So oh man.
So to answer Thinforth in the chat, he asks how an equatorial mount can work if you have no idea where you are. He thought it had to be aligned to the axis of rotation, and it is. But you don't have to know a priori going into it what latitude and longitude are. You can just align to the North Celestial Pole uh, with a variety of methods using drift align or iterative alignment. Um, Iterative alignment really works better if you know where you are, but strictly speaking, you don't have to. But either way, you can align your telescope without having a priori knowledge of what your latitude and longitude are. And what I'm talking about with the scope, computer of the scope itself can be told where it is on the Earth, and that helps with the alignment process. It makes it possible for the scope to know where the horizon is and all of that, so it can calculate things like atmospheric refraction. But you don't have to tell it that. You can tell it you don't know where you are, and it won't attempt to calculate for atmospheric refraction. And it will track, if you have it physically aligned to the axis of rotation, you don't have to know going into it what your latitude and longitude are. As long as it's aligned, it will track at the right rate and it will track objects across the sky just fine. Now, if you want the telescope to automatically go to objects, then you have to tell it where a couple of stars are. And you can do this even if you don't know where you are on Earth. But if you
Yeah.
point out a couple of stars to the telescope, then its computer will know, I know where the stars are in the sky now, and it can automatically find objects for you at that point, even though you don't know where you are on Earth. So, strictly speaking, you don't need latitude and longitude to be able to operate an equatorial scope, either a manual one or even a computerized one like this.
Right. No, I'm the one that I'm building is I had seen one or two of the older manual ones, obviously pre-computer, forget pre, everything else. And so what I'm doing is uh the axis to align to the axis of the Earth and to line up with Polaris. I'm doing a tube scope. just a pass through tube, so I can look up that, and that is the actual axis of that rotation, and so which will have absolutely nothing to do with any kind of longitude or latitude or anything like that. It's just basically going to be lining it up, basically.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, one way of doing polar alignment, sort of empirically, is to take your telescope. If you have a polar aligned telescope and you're trying to polar align it, if you rotate it in right ascension but keep the declination fixed at 90 degrees, you'll see if you run a long exposure as you rotate the scope in right ascension, it'll make
Right.
a star trail, basically an artificial star trail photo. And then you take a picture with the telescope not moving at all, just fixed, and create a real star trail picture and look at where the center point of the real star trails lines up relative to the artificial star trails. And then you just want to move the scope until those two are co-aligned with each other. And then
Hmm.
voila, you have it aligned to Earth's axis of rotation. Done. So
Yep.
again, you don't have to have any knowledge of where you are on Earth to make that work.
Right. And I had a guy come on my thing the other day, and he actually came on my page correctly. He's obviously, or at least some of his words are pretty much telling me that he's somebody who's on flat Earth. Um, but he actually asked the questions. How does this work and how does that work? Now, one thing that he did get confused was he had thought that axial rotation of a uh, equatorial mount was how star trail images were created, and I was like, whoa, 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 no, that's from the camera being stationary, as in completely. Yeah, I saw that playtime. That was cool. um, but it's from the camera actually being stationary, and he seemed to have been at least confused about that. Not to say that he was arguing with me about it, but he brought it up in his video, and he invited me to come over and and answer the questions that were in the video, and which I did. And of course, it also attracted a couple of our less tasteful flat earthers, and they started to run amok, and so I just kind of left the conversation. But no, for anybody who might be listening, just in case you're wondering, um, star trails are made from a stationary camera. It has nothing to do with an EQ mount. Has absolutely nothing to do with it. Has nothing to do with motorized anything and turning anything. I actually have a clip from something that I'm going to use as a joke to that, but that's for a later date. Um, it's just kind of funny. But yeah, I'm not. Well, it doesn't look like they're actually going to do it. I had asked if they could do it in the beginning, but apparently not. It's crazy.
What a surprise.
Yeah. Well, they brought up the Wolfie thing, and what do you call it? And but I do agree with one thing. Uh, with of all the people that I've met associated with flat Earth, whether on the globe side or the flat Earth side, um, the only person that I would actually trust to have the actual cash to do this, to make a money-based bet, would be Wolfie. Only because the dude does make good money being a pilot, okay, and he's quite a successful dude in his personal life. I've had many conversations with him actually offline, and let's not forget, um, he obviously has the money to award uh, $1,800 drones out to people. Okay, so the guy actually does have the money. Now, when you get some, I don't know, bad sunglass toting idiot standing there saying that he's got $100,000 if they could show me, and he can't even pronounce the word navigation correctly. I'm sorry. I'm not really going to be lining up to take that challenge. You know, just to have somebody go nuh to it, and then that's pretty much it.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty obvious from the outset. He never had any intention of awarding cash that he didn't have in the first place.
Hmm. Now,
There's
if
some
we take Daniel Pratt's rules, his words are actually liable, and therefore you can sue him, according to Daniel Pratt.
right. Although, again, if somebody doesn't have the money in the first place, you can sue them, but you can't squeeze water out of a stone. It's just not going to
Yeah,
do
right. You,
anything
you
for
can
you.
sue him, doesn't mean you're ever going to get it. But it's not like somebody's got an escrow of uh, fraudulent bet money to give out to people that they're hoping that the defendants will actually pay it back. That's probably just not going to happen. But let's see. Now they're talking about Kepler, something else they don't know anything about. Actually, what I'm wondering is, no, I don't see it up on the top there. They usually this is has always been the typical style of globe busters. Is somebody's got a browser open with like 60 bazillion things open in it, and but what I don't see, at least not directly, unless it's one of these two things, which would really suck because that means it's going to be out the end. Oh wait, I see something there. Sly. Why would that be in a Google window though? Let me see something here. Yeah. Go away. I see a Sly up there next to a flat something YouTube video. Now I don't know why Sly in Google would be there, but you see that too, right? Or are you on a phone?
No, I'm on my desktop, but I can't. The window's too small. Let me see if I can make it bigger because I can't see. I can't read those little letters up there. Which
I would
is
say
it?
about at
Oh,
about
I see.
three quarters of a cross.
Yeah, I see it now. Yeah, I see that. Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, that could be something else, but I just see Sly, so who knows? But I don't know why they got me up in a Google window though. That's doesn't make a whole lot of sense at all.
Watch out for the docs, bro.
Go ahead and try it. Last guy who claimed to have doxed me was 2 years ago, and he said my name was Scotty in Kentucky, and he was going to burn my house down.
Ooh, oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
Ouch.
that was one of Pratt's little lackeys.
And here I thought Nibiru people were the only ones who made physical threats like that.
No, insecure, paranoid flat earthers and conspiracy believers make threats like that. And what do you call it? I mean, that's pretty much the root of all this anyway. Either it's religion or conspiracy, and which is both of them have a distrust for anybody uh, who are not on their same thing, their same wavelength, should I say? And I had even said in my little video that I made in response to Daniel Pratt the other day, because he keeps on saying, "Oh, show your face," and all this. I have a legitimate reason not to show my face, because it only takes one maladjusted flat earther or conspiracy person and stuff like that to actually do harm. And I'm sorry, I'm not in the habit of putting myself out there like that. But
Oh, that's very wise. I mean, you probably know what's happened to me. It's crazy.
oh yeah,
These people are
uh,
just unhinged.
Geo, what hangout you got going on? Oh yeah, I know, Sean. I know what a Pratt is. Actually, as a matter of fact, I was watching this video the other day about people who complain in airports, and I heard the word Pratt used by okay, I'm just going to say folks in the UK. You're on non sequitur in 30 minutes. Are you debating? Come on, Gio. Oh, that's right, 15-second overlay. I gave you a link to this thing, man. Get your ass in here. Stop typing. Who said I'm a closet?
Geocentrist.
Who said I'm a closet flat earther? Golden skeptic. What are you gonna do about Sly Sparkane's EQ mount challenge? Well, he didn't get blocked yet. Oh man, Geo, you're going up against a geocentrist? Yeah, that's gonna be a whole lot of numbers, bud. open discussion about geocentricity. Just whoever it is that you end up talking to, make sure that they do understand that geocentricity is not flat Earth. Because a geocentric model has a spherical Earth in it. Just the discussion of geo versus heliocentric heliocentric is which one's moving. Is the universe going around us, and or are we going around the or are we just kind of floating around in the universe, rotating?
I'm always amused by that whenever you're debating with a flat earther and suddenly they start talking about heliocentrism like that was this discussion and it's a totally different argument.
Yeah. What up, Geo?
Hey.
Good.
So yeah, I'll be on the Non Sequitur show later.
Oh, okay. And what's your what's the poison?
Apparently, a geocentrist / possible flat earther by the name of Shinobi333 said he would want to present his geocentric model, and I'm there to debunk it live.
Okay. Well, the not to give away the suspense and stuff like that, but the only thing that you can really do is do things with planets, right?
More or less, there's more stuff you'll see.
Yeah.
But anyway, it will be open format. I'm not the kind of guy that does formal debates. That's just not my style. Plus, I don't want to get him to run into Gish gallops, which might happen rather quickly.
Well, that's gonna happen.
There we go. It's starting. I just got the invite by Kyle, so I'll have to head out.
Okay, what time does it start, bud? Plug
in 30 minutes, 22 our time. So that's 2100 UTC.
Okay, 2100 UTC. Everybody go over to Non Sequitur, watch Geo's debate.
So see you guys later.
Yo, ciao.
Oh god, that reminds me, thanks to the time change, the offset from UTC is now different for us here in the States. Which means I gotta reset that onto the telescope. That's another thing it doesn't know how to do. It doesn't know how to do daylight savings. I have to manually specify that.
Yeah, I hear you. What's up, Chris? About time you made it back. Let's see. Oh, academic community. Okay. So I guess they're just kind of not going to get to this. They're just going to misinterpret what they're looking there because they think it's a model. That's one thing I've always loved in the arguments with flat earthers and stuff like that. Just because something can be faked does not mean that it is fake. I remember a long time ago I actually wrote an article. I want to say it was like around 2007 because I found myself on a forum about moon hoaxes and stuff like that. And I turned around and I said I blame Hollywood because as Hollywood gets better, it's going to be harder and harder to convince people that anything that they're seeing is actually factual. Because
yeah, and the other thing is that Hollywood also creates false expectations of what you should see in real footage because people don't set their expectations on what it should look like based on the real footage. They do the opposite. They set their expectations based on what Hollywood shows them. And
or what they want to see. Yeah.
Or what they want to see. So when they don't see stars in the background, they say, oh, it's all black. It shouldn't be like that. Based on what? Based on some Hollywood movie that showed stars in the background,
Well, that's another thing. I actually responded to somebody in my chat, and I think that was today or yesterday. No stars in the Apollo footage, blah blah blah, and all this. And I said, well, it's funny. I've never seen stars in a night football game either, and I've never seen stars in a night baseball game or a night race in NASCAR. And that's because the exposure settings are for the bright parts, not for the dim parts. And I mean, it's a pretty simple concept to grasp, but they never get that. And no, but it kind of falls into the whole thing. What Elon Musk also had said, because it looks fake, so it's real or something like that. Because if you go into a view of something, expecting to see a specific way, a specific thing, and how it's supposed to exactly look, the um, then you're going in with a false expectation, because you actually, if you knew what it looked like, you wouldn't. I mean, it's kind of difficult to describe it, but in short, um, we expect things to be there that might not be there. Like the Soundly stuff, that was the first time I actually put that together, because of the fact that the very first Soundly images that came out of the power lines going over Lake Pontchartrain, they were beautiful, crisp photos, and even one or two of them were little video clips, and um, and I had asked Kara, who's also another 3D modeler, and far better than me. I had asked Kara, I said, if you were to model this out, would you make it look like this? And her exact answer was no, because you would put things in there that you would expect to see, like, humidity in the air causing things in the distance to actually be a little bit more faded, and there would be, you would actually add things to it to try and fake the distance or something like that, or at least give your eyes something to chew on to make you believe the distance or something like that. When in fact, reality doesn't care what you want to see. Reality is going to give you what's there. And yes, that's a good point, Phoebe. Um, I've always told everybody, because they're like, you should be able to take, you should see, you should always see these stars. You should always see these stars and stuff like that. And I was just like, well, all right, then go out. This was in the summertime when I was talking to somebody. I said, go out right now and take a picture of Orion for me, because you can't do that because of the fact that the sky is illuminated. Okay, doesn't mean they're not there, or it doesn't mean Orion's not there. All the stars of Orion are there and everything around it, and what do you call it, Orion Nebula and all that other stuff. But you cannot see them because the sky is illuminated. Period. And
Right.
anything that you are looking at that time is adjusted to that illumination.
And on, most of these people have never taken a picture of the stars in their life, and so they drastically underestimate the difficulty of doing that. They think that they can just take their point and shoot camera outside some night, set it for a regular quick exposure, handhold it, take a quick snapshot, and have a picture of the sky filled with stars. That's not how it works. And then they might actually try that. They download the pictures, they see all these spots, they're like, look, there are the stars. No, those are hot pixels on the camera because your CCD's got defective pixels all over it.
Right.
But they have these expectations based on what they think they've seen that aren't even correct, and this sets their expectations for what they should see in NASA photos. When in reality, like you said, it requires long exposures, very sensitive cameras to pick up even bright stars in short exposures. It's just not going to happen for exposures that are set to expose bright daylit objects. There's a fundamental limitation of dynamic range in the camera there, where it can't see both at once. Our eyes are actually much better at seeing wide dynamic range than your typical CCD camera.
Exactly.
Your typical CCD camera responds to light in a linear fashion, whereas our eyes respond to light in a logarithmic fashion, which again requires mathematical knowledge that's generally beyond these people. So I'm noticing here in their stream they're showing Hubble. I guess they're trying to claim Hubble is fake, and they're showing a picture of the TRAPPIST-1 system taken by some camera, and it looks somewhat like a pixelated version of the first picture Hubble took, but it's not even identical.
Yeah, let's not forget Hubble was sent up, assed up.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
exactly.
in technical, well, in layman's terms of technical aspects, it was sent up, ass up.
Yeah, and I've been tracking Hubble lately. When Hubble was actually down for the count, I was tracking it on multiple days, and sure enough, it wasn't moving from day to day. They had it parked in one position most of the time. And if I track it now, well, guess what I'm going to see? I'm going to see that its orientation is changing, and it's probably going to be match for what the schedule shows it should be looking at. And you can actually download that schedule and see minute to minute. Here's what Hubble's going to be pointing at this week. So one of the things
Oh, really?
yeah, it's really cool. So one of the things I intend to do, I've done this before years ago, but now that I've got my tracking software running real good, I can do it a lot more often, a lot easier, is I can track Hubble whenever it's visible at very high magnification and show that the orientation of the optical tube matches what NASA said it was going to be pointing at. So that's another project I intend to do. over multiple days. Once the weather gets good again, the weather's kind of crappy for me right now, but when it clears up and Hubble's available, I'm going to be tracking it and showing, look, over multiple days, it's tracking the objects I say it is. I can actually resolve the optical tube as a small elongated shape in my telescope. So these
Right.
guys, saying that it's fake, good luck explaining that one. I'm sure they'll say it's a balloon or it's an airplane or whatever, even though it's moving in the orbit it's predicted to be in. And oh yeah, it's not that the software has been faked because I wrote the software. So again, good luck explaining that one.
Yeah, pretty much. The hey everybody, do me a favor. Ask them when they're going to get to my challenge. Nicely, if you feel like it. Because playtime just got timed out. Just wondering when they're going to get to this challenge, or if I'm just going to have to record it and look at it later. Yeah, I see that, Demon. I see, but it's in a Google window for some reason. I don't know why that is. Because if they're looking at my stuff on YouTube, then it would be something in YouTube. Oh, geez, here we go. Yeah,
Oh
that certainly
man.
looks like a bubble, man. Because it's going in different directions.
Even though the camera's obviously bobbing around, as you can
Yeah.
see from the solar arrays, it's not a fixed camera.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't know where that particle is. That particle is probably very close to the camera. So even though the distant objects might be appearing to move very little, the debris, whatever it is probably very close to the camera. So due to parallax, it's going to move a whole lot more.
That sounds like Riley's argument about the the parallax bird. I think was what we were calling it for a while there. When he was going in about Soundly's footage when he drove actually to the other side of the. People are starting to ask. I appreciate that, guys. When he was talking about there was a bird in a bird's nest sitting in one of the power line towers, and Soundly was driving from one side of the towers to the other side of the towers to prove that it was a photo, it was actual live photography. And what's his name? Riley was claiming that there was no parallax in it, and that the parallax was all wrong, and that the towers should actually appear to be twisting and all this other stuff as he's moving, without realizing how far he was fucking zoomed in. And parallax doesn't work. What do you call it? I'd actually gone out to a field and photographed some distant. What is this? Yeah, it's moving away from the astronaut, but the camera is moving. Oh my god. Anyway, sorry. Yes, of course we can green screen underwater. Of course. Actually, the only thing that I've ever seen that was done somewhat, well, I guess you could green screen underwater, but then that takes it completely out of the discussion of why would you do it in the water in the first place. I mean, really.
I mean, it makes sense why they train in the water. It's the best way they can simulate zero G for the purposes of training. Who
For
would have
long
thought?
durations, yeah.
Yeah, who would have thought they need to actually train what it's going to be like before they get up there and do this? And if you want proof of that, just ask. Well, Gene Cernan's gone now, but Gene Cernan and some of these other astronauts who were trying early spacewalks to do actual technical tasks found it hugely difficult before they started doing neutral buoyancy training. They were fighting themselves trying to get around the spacecraft. They didn't have good footholds, good handholds. And Cernan, he worked up his heart rate massively just trying to get to the back of the Gemini spacecraft to strap on what was going to be basically the first MMU before they had the MMU. And he got to it, and that's about as far as he got. And he had to go back because he was sweating. His helmet was fogging up, and he was just completely overworked. And it was, I believe, it was Buzz Aldrin who came up of doing the neutral buoyancy training because he knew that would help in terms of simulating the weightless.
Yeah, I seem to recall hearing that in several different documentaries that Buzz Aldrin was the one who actually somewhat championed that because everybody else was having a hard time with it. And what do you call it? So, Phoebe says that he's a TV producer and understands how green screen works, and they don't. I totally agree with you, man. The little bit that I know about it tells me that nothing of what they're saying makes any sense. Now, let's all make sure we pay attention to this, whatever space footage that they're showing, and see if it is that, as since Jaren has offered up absolutely no answer to it, where is the head shrinking that would be required because of the refraction of the face mask underwater? If they're actually underwater out in space, then their heads are like half the size. I did a video on that, and Jaren's only response to it was they use different helmets.
Of course. And
You know,
there have been a couple of amateur astronomers who've actually captured sight of astronauts on station structure during a spacewalk with their telescopes on the ground. So there's independent proof from amateurs on the ground with their telescopes tracking the station who have caught sight of astronauts working on the station at that time, and they were right where NASA TV showed them to be live. So good luck explaining that again. Okay, so why are there these white things climbing around the station where NASA shows the astronauts are at the time that NASA shows the astronauts are there? That's one hell of a damn good hoax if it's a hoax.
that's some super synchronized swimming right there, boy. I was supposed to ask you if you are monitoring the chat because I think Carl has a question for you.
Oh, sorry. No, I didn't have the chat window up. What's up? Let's see here.
By the way, I appreciate everybody who's asking about my challenge in the chat over there. About half the people have been blocked so far. But like I said, don't forget, do it nicely.
Oh, I see Carl's question. He was asking about the Scott Manley video where Scott Manley measured the altitude of the space station. Yeah, I saw that, and I actually commented on that video pretty quickly when it came out because I saw that, and Red's Rhetoric and I did the exact same thing a few weeks before.
I remember that.
Yeah, we did the same experiment a few weeks before Scott Manley did that video, and so I thought that was really cool because as fun as it was to do it with me and Reds, Scott Manley's got way more exposure than we'll ever have. So it's nice to see that there's another example of it out there that a lot of people have now seen. But yeah, as expected, Scott Manley found that the station was at the altitude it was supposed to be at.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's see. Golden Skeptic's still hammering away. When are you going to address Slice Barkane's EQ mount challenge? I think they're talking about something about reflections and shadows on these things, not recognizing exactly what the angle of the sunlight is right there. But whatever.
Or I don't know. I haven't seen exactly what they're saying, but there's also the fact that it's a curved surface that's going to complicate the shadow angles even more. It's not a flat surface.
Oh yeah. Let's see. Nope, Tommy, you're still on there. How about that equatorial mount?
I actually just ordered another telescope today. So
I want to hear that. I have this stupid little cheap one and all this. I mean, don't get me wrong. Stupid and cheap is still a telescope, but it's nothing of it doesn't have very much wow effect to it.
Well, this one's not going to be nothing too fancy. It's the bare bones model Nexstar SE, but it should be compatible with the ASCOM functionality, the universal driver functionality of my software. My own telescope is actually not capable of using the universal driver set, but this one should be. So this will let me test out the ability of the software to work properly with a wide variety of telescopes. So hopefully, if I can get vetted on there and make sure all the bugs are worked out, a lot more people will be able to do it, which is going to make life a living hell for a lot of flat earthers when tons and tons of space station videos start showing up from amateurs who maybe didn't have any experience or much desire to do that before, but now it's just as simple as point and click to get the station in the view. So that's going to be fun.
Yeah. Phoebe, do me a favor if you want to get in touch with me. Leave me a message. Seeing that messages don't exist anymore in YouTube, unfortunately. Go to one of my earlier videos with a real low view count and post something to me there. I'll catch it in my comments. I'm constantly monitoring my comments, and it'll show up as a new comment, and then we can discuss a swap out of stuff there. Okay? Because I would really love to see what you got there.
No, the new telescope. This new telescope costs just $400 there, Thin Fourth, so it's quite affordable, and that's
Right.
like the cheapest one you can get that will have the go-to functionality that the software depends on.
I'm sorry, man. I'm listening to you, but I'm laughing at the chat. EQ mount, EQ mount. You guys are killing
Ooh.
me, man.
I see they're talking about 2015 TB-145 asteroid / dead comet there. That was actually the very first object that my program ever tracked was that particular asteroid 3 years ago on Halloween. So, hey, a little bit of synchronicity there.
Wait, Adam, you said that they said they addressed it 4 minutes ago?
I sure didn't see anything.
I sure as hell didn't see anything. Let's go back 4 minutes ago. Well, let's go a little bit further back than 4 minutes ago. Let's see here. Okay, no, that was all the swimming stuff. 8 minutes ago was the particles. 11 minutes ago was their misunderstanding of gravity. And then them calling these guys actors. That's 15 minutes ago. I didn't see anything yet at all about an EQ mount.
Maybe they're talking about the asteroid TB-145 to try to discredit my software. I doubt it. I doubt they even know. But it'd be funny if they tried that.
It's all your fault, man.
Obviously.
You know you have a fake the globe button in your software. Just like 3ds Max has a hidden fake the globe button in there as well. Let's see here.
Well, I think they're going for the fake the response to you button.
Yeah. No, like I said, I think this is up here is their timeline of what they're going to discuss. And just because I asked for it to be in the beginning, they're going to have it out here at the end, because I'm pretty certain that these two here are me. Because I start most of my videos with the words flat earth. And then, of course, I see something here, slide. Now, like I said, that does not mean it's me. But it's a little odd that it would start out with Sly. And I can't think of a subject that they would bring up for that. And let's see here. Yeah, whatever that is. Brainary, who I am chatting with a guy named Astronomy Live. He's got really cool tools, has a lot of good knowledge on astronomy stuff. He's done a lot of stuff with Red's Rhetoric, and he's done a lot of stuff with Sean Hufford. And he's kind of, at least in my circle of friends, I would say he's kind of an authority on a lot of things astronomy, of course. And what do you call it? So he's, yeah. Are you Anton's Caesar No. I don't even know how to pronounce that. I got Anton right, I'm sure. Brainerd says you sound different.
Sean Hawkins got timed out for mentioning the EQ mount.
Oh, $20 for doing nothing. There you go. Message deleted. Message deleted. Oh, he must have been asking as well, huh? Now, Steve, were you soliciting for me? Oh, wait. Yeah, message is deleted. Yeah, of course. They don't ever, censor people looking for truth, right? It's an IQ mount. Thinforth put that in there. Send money. They can buy an EQ mount.
Okay, I'm gonna pop in their chat for a second. I got something to say.
Go for it, dude. Be nice. So no on the challenge of Slice Parkane then. All hail Belu and Slice Parkane. All right, NASA JPL. Appreciate you stopping by though, bud.
See if that shows up. I'm not sure if they've already banned me before or not.
We'll see. Is it the same icons you got right now?
Yeah, it's a different icon. It's a Saturn picture, but it says Astronomy Live.
I'm gonna say no. I think you are solid blocked, which means they don't even have to. They don't even have to dump you
I bet so.
because you won't even show up. At, well, wait. Now there's like the 15-second thing, so let's give it that.
Hunter Thompson said address Sly's EQ challenge right before I said what I said in the chat there.
Okay. I
They were
guess
showing.
not. So that means you're solid blocked. You're blocked on their Google level.
Well, are you still rewound on their from their live footage, or are you live right now?
I'm live right now.
Okay. Because they had some picture of Mississippi River from Google Earth up when I said it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Sure, we've reached that point yet.
Well, that's going to be off by about 15 seconds.
Yeah, of course.
But no, I don't see Saturn. Let's just say it that way.
Yeah, I think they probably have me solid blocked, as you said.
Yeah, I mean, because if you're only like muted on YouTube, you could still go into these things, and then they can you could chat away, but then it'll Sean Hawkins. Yeah, I'm not gonna say that out loud. It's gonna be in the chat later, but still. Nevertheless, the when you are just muted on their channel, or they have a one of those blocked for review things, that might have your username in it or something like that. Those you will still be able to go up into a live chat on a Hangout. However, if they block you at the Google level, then you can't even get in.
Oh wait, I think I was commenting on the wrong video. I was commenting on 24/7 Flat Earth. I guess that's different than the live stream you're viewing right now.
I believe so.
Okay, all right. Let me go try to post it in the other stream.
Okay. Boy, look at that. More money for doing nothing. There you go. Cha-ching. That's why Bob spells the word ass with dollar signs.
Okay, it should be right after Stephen O. There it is. Hey, it appeared. Hooray.
Oh, okay, cool. Ballers are totally obsessed with FE. It's hilarious. Yeah, it's even more hilarious watching you guys believe it. Yeah, but that is another thing. That's a good point that I just read in the chat that they they deleted a super chat. What? Can you do that? Oh. But I do know that you can have it in your setup that you can actually delete chat or make it so the chat does not show up in the published version. So this is a nice little annotation of that. So Houston, we have a problem. What's that, Darth? Playtime's back.
Oh boy, Jibby Jedi's in the chat. He really has a problem with me.
Yeah. Jimmy Jedi, I remember that. He claimed that the Pacific Ocean wasn't as large as it is.
Yeah, he's also, I think he's claimed that he's one of these people claim that I've stole my software, that my software is fake or whatever. He's got real issues with me.
Oops, Sleeping Warrior finally, well, Riley finally saw my name. Riley actually came to my channel today and started harassing both me and Wolfie. Riley said he wanted the password to my account so he could be actually, hey, thanks, Chris. So he could actually be the one who could shut down my channel when said proof is provided. Which I told him, my exact words were to him that I wouldn't trust you holding Nathan's dick, and what do you call it? Which you know, and but then he started pushing. Yep, and you're gone again, Playtime. And he started pushing at Wolfie that Wolfie should jump in with the challenge, delete the channel challenge, and all this. And I said, well, I'll bet you he would do that just fine if you would actually do that demonstration on Nathan's show, which he refused to do. So you can come over here. You can come to my channel all you want, Riley. But to be honest with you, I find it hysterical that that you talk the talk but don't walk the walk. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Uh-oh. Tommy's speaking in tongues. Well, I promised Geo that I wouldn't step on his debate. So I'll tell you what, ladies and gents, it looks like they're going to push this all the way out to the end of their 3-hour thing, and they're only 1 hour in. So, and unfortunately, it's approaching 10 p.m. my time. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to record the rest of this, and then what do you call it? Unfortunately, I'm on long shift this week, but tomorrow evening I will have a report as to what's going on with this thing. Now, in the being true to science, if they actually do show that this can work on a AE map with a dome, because that's Bob's model. If they actually show it, my promise is, and me sitting here waiting for it to happen is kind of the whole thing. My promise is that I will delete all of the information off my channel, and then I will leave behind a video of me with my face on it, speaking to a camera, saying that Bob Nodal has proved to me that flat Earth is possible. And what do you call it? That's the bet that's there. And no, it is not. It is not admissible to turn around and say because the EQ mount exists, that means that it works just fine on flat Earth. And of course, using an actual EQ mount outside tracking something is also not proof of it because it's not showing what's actually taking place. I had specifically put into my wager to Bob that what needs to be displayed is in either 3D or small scale, something that shows every aspect of what's going on. In other words, you can't just say that, well, that part there is due to perspective or something like that. You have to actually show that, actually put out the diagram or put out the effect that's actually being recorded. And so I'm going to be recording this, and then, like I said, tomorrow my channel will either be here or it won't, if they actually show it in here. But do keep in mind, Bob did say he did accept the challenge. He wrote it in text on the on Southern Israelites channel. He did accept the challenge. He says he's got this, and he's looking forward to me deleting my channel. So that means he said he's going to do it. Riley actually came to me today and told me that it was going to happen. Now, I did request it be in the beginning of this hangout of the Glowbusters episode, but apparently that fell on deaf ears, or that he's just doing it just to be a prick. So if you come to my channel tomorrow and you don't see any content on it, then in the name of science, he has prove something to me that was that I had stated was not possible. If my channel's still 100% intact, then you can await my response video. Okay. So, like I said, everybody go over to the Non Sequitur Show. Get off my channel right now. Go watch whatever debate that Gio's going to have because his was planned and I did not know that. Mine was spontaneous. So, ladies and gents, and Astronomy Live, thank you so very much for coming by. I really
My
appreciate
pleasure.
your insight on things. Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about when you get your new EQ mount, what you're gonna do with your old one. Okay.
Oh, I'm keeping the old one. The old one's a much better one. This new one's just for testing purposes.
You're not
But
supposed to say that. You're supposed to actually say, you know, Sly, I heard you really wanted one, and all right. No, but I really do appreciate you stopping by. Sean, if you're not back yet, I don't know what took you so damn long to go get cigarettes. So, ladies and gents, go over and watch Non Sequitur. Get off my channel. Y'all have yourselves a nice night.